Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this audio fan commentary on The Dark Knight, the second film of the Dark Knight trilogy, all directed by Christopher Nolan. This one was released in 2008, and no, we're not wearing hockey pads. I'm joined once again by my good friend and subscriber, Jack the Film Fanatic. We did a commentary on Batman Begins last week, and I hope that was good. Now we're doing The Dark Knight, and we will do The Dark Knight Rises very soon. Apologies for the previous time we tried to do this. There was some technical issues, but hopefully that's all sorted now and we can just carry on with this as planned. Like the other commentaries, this is just a non-profit thing. We're just fans watching and commentating as we do. If you want to follow with us, you can. We can't show the image of the film for legal reasons, so if you have the Blu-ray or DVD, then put your timestamp into 0. Put the DVD or Blu-ray in your player and then press play when we press play. So you can do that if you want to, but that's completely optional. It's up to you. Yeah, this is a very historical film on a number of accounts, and obviously it's one of the pretty much the very last film that Heath Ledger ever starred in, which is very sad. But there we go. So, Jack, is there anything you want to say before we kick this shit off?
I'm not wearing hockey pads. Yeah.
Okay, that kind of says it all then. Right. Well, I'm ready to begin. So, do you want to do the countdown, or shall I do it?
I think I'll go this time. That's all right.
Yeah, ladies first.
Well, then we should get Lee in here.
Oh God, let's not mention any false names in this hangout.
Oh, the dark shite is here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Playing now. Oh.
Yeah. Apologies for the Wi-Fi issues last time. My Wi-Fi just fucked up and very, very frustrating. But hopefully nothing happens this time.
Oh, it's all right. You know, it's not your fault. You're not your own Wi-Fi provider, so you know. Otherwise, then I would blame you.
Yeah, Sky, believe in shitter.
Yeah, legendary pictures.
Yeah. Do you think there's any dragons in this?
I think you're watching the wrong film. This is a pretty great opening scene. Actually, I really do like this opening. How it just sort of throws you into the film with a sort of bank robbery scene, and then we get our first sort of glimpse into the Joker. Although I don't think his proper introduction really comes until the scene when he puts the guy's head in the pencil. Personally, but yeah.
Yeah. The volume for this is quite low, actually, on the Blu-ray. But...
Well, turn it up then. Well, mine's only on 10, so I'm not putting it any louder because my family are in the rooms next door. So
yeah, exactly. And plus, we don't want to get done for copyright.
No.
I mean, I do think Michael Mann said he was inspired, like this opening, he was inspired by the movie Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, the heist film from 1995, which is a really great film. But yeah, there was a bank robbery scene in Heat, which is very similar to this. But yeah.
And I mean, Batman Begins had the burden of being an origin story, so it needed to take time to kind of set up the story. Whereas this just can throw you straight in, and this film just assumes that you've seen Batman Begins, which I think is a good thing to do, and just to kind of bring you into the story.
Yeah, I mean, in Heat, when De Niro and his crew are when they're raiding the bank, they're wearing hockey masks, which is quite funny. But
yeah.
Here they're wearing clown masks.
I think it's funny how they're all sort of just killing each other, and I think that's the Joker there telling them to do that, like saying, "Oh, he's gonna steal the money. He's gonna steal the money. You should really kill him and him." again, the thing with the Joker is like he just likes to fuck around. He's not in it for the money. He just wants to cause chaos and watch the world burn, as Alfred says. And that's the genius of the character, really.
Yeah, and this is a really great way to, open the film and get the audience hooked, because literally it begins with a bank heist. And I mean, this guy's quite interesting, the one with the shotgun. Like, he says he's not afraid of the Joker, and then the Joker, I think, scares him at the end when he puts the grenade in his mouth. But yeah,
Yes. It's just very tense as well, this opening.
I like this way. I like the way that you don't know who the Joker is yet. I mean, it isn't until he takes his mask off that we find out that it's actually the Joker.
Yes, and I think it's a good reveal. But it's only a brief glimpse into the character. Yeah, I think the best is yet to come, but it is a great opening. And I mean, Ledger is just outstanding in this film. I know everyone said it over the years, but he really deserved that Oscar that he got. That posthumous Oscar.
Yeah. One thing I will say, it's a little bit jarring the way it goes from like widescreen to IMAX sometimes in the movie. I mean, it's nice that they did some scenes in IMAX, but I kind of wish they just did the film either all in widescreen or all in IMAX. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think when you watch the film on DVD, it is only in one aspect ratio. But yeah, for the Blu-ray, it seems to change. But yeah, I mean, you just have to kind of get used to it when you watch it. Yeah.
I remember when I first watched this on DVD, it was all in widescreen, but yeah. Oh, school buff.
He doesn't even need the
Hopefully
money.
There's no, yeah. Hopefully there's no apes in that school bus like General Aldo.
Oh my god. Aldo, fuck, ape.
Aldo fucked Joker.
What do you believe? Huh? What do you believe in? I believe whatever simply makes you
Stranger.
I think you're right. It was right to save the Joker until the second film and to not have him in Batman Begins, because I think that would have taken away the focus of trying to develop Batman's origin story.
Yeah, I agree. And that is one criticism I'll give the 89 film, even though I really like the 89 Batman film. It's more like, the film the Joker sort of overshadows the Joker sort of overshadows Batman in his own film, and they try and do the origin story a little bit in the 89 Batman. Well, I mean, they sort of have flashbacks, but yeah, I mean, that's what I like about The Dark Knight. We've already got all the backstory out of the way about how he became Batman. Here, he's Batman going up against, the Joker, and I think it's a great way to introduce you to the character, and and I think this is for me, like, the pacing of this is much better than Batman Begins. I mean, I do like Batman Begins, but I think criticism could be made that it was a bit slow. But this, the pacing, it's never boring, which is really great.
Yeah, and it's actually longer than Batman Begins. It's about 12 minutes longer, and it is very brisk, so which is good. I like the next thing coming up when we get to see the guys all dressing up as Batman trying to copy him, and we see the Scarecrow still running around as well after Batman Begins. I mean, he was just kind of disregarded, I guess, at the end of the previous film. So yeah, it's nice to see them kind of bring him down.
Yeah. No, Batman. Yeah, this guy's quite interesting. Like, later on, like, he wants to listen to the Joker's proposition.
told you, my compound, we take you places. I never said they do places.
It's interesting how Scarecrow was in this film, but he doesn't really appear in it that much. He's only in this scene, I think.
Yeah, he makes a cameo basically. I don't know whether this is meant to be, I guess, kind of like tying up the end of the first film with him with his appearance here, because as I said, he was kind of like left unresolved by the end of the first film. Like we didn't find out what happened to him. So yeah, so he's still doing his dirty work.
Yeah, you know this is not Batman because he's got a gun.
Makes you wonder why there are people that are trying to do that. Whether they're doing it to I mean, I think they're just trying to help him, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're inspired by him because he's a vigilante who takes on criminals, and I think they're sort of inspired to, do the same.
Loiter. I mean, this could be Christian Bale's best performance, or actually, maybe The Dark Knight Rises is Christian Bale's best performance as Batman.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe this one or Dark Knight Rises. Yeah.
Sure.
He's kicking horse.
Yeah. And I think there's a bit more action in this film than the Batman Begins, which is quite good.
Yeah, I do think the suit here is better than the one in Batman Begins. I mean, he can sort of turn his head and be a lot more physical in this suit than he could in Batman Begins. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Although, I mean, in terms of like, I think there's not much difference in the color. It's more, I guess, the utility belt is slightly different.
Yeah, and not only that, but the mask in Batman Begins made him look a bit. It was a bit like the mask was a bit wide, made him look a bit fat for some reason. But yeah.
Yeah, but I think Bale he's lost a little bit of weight actually. His face isn't as podgy.
Yeah.
We're trying to help you. I don't need help. Not my diagnosis.
Yeah.
Give you the right. What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey.
It's the best line of the film. Well, that's the best line he delivers. I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said this before. I like the Christian Bale voice. I mean, I know people complain it's over the top, but I mean, he's trying to disguise himself. He's trying not to sound the same as he is, as Bruce Wayne. Because, in the earlier films, like say even especially with George Clooney and Val Kilmer, they didn't make the effort to kind of distinguish the voices. I think it's a subtle thing, but I think it works because, again, he's trying to disguise himself. And I think the kind of gruff voice suits Batman, I think.
Yeah.
And Jim Gordon gets a lot more to do in this film as well. His family actually are quite involved in the film. There's a lot of drama surrounding him. But it's mainly drama surrounding him, Harvey Dent, and Bruce Wayne, and then the Joker, causing shit for all three of them.
Yeah. I mean, that line where it says, I'm not wearing hockey pads. I mean, I like the fact they gave Batman a little bit of a sense of humor. I mean, he is dark, but in the comics, Batman does have a bit of a sense of humor. So it's nice that they added that,
Yeah, that's true. But I think this film is definitely darker and more. It's more downbeat than the first one. There's a lot of tragedy, I think, in this film. But there's some really great scenes though, which we'll obviously get to very shortly. But Batman Begins, I think, had a few more. I want to say lighter moments, but certainly a few more sort of somber moments, I think, with the character relationships. Yeah. But it was still a dark film. It was still quite scary in places. But this one, I think,
Dark Knight is certainly darker than Batman and Robin.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I don't know about the Dark Knight Rises. I mean, I guess the Dark Knight Rises is kind of on level with this, but I think this is probably the darkest of the trilogy.
Yeah. And for me, it's probably the best of the trilogy. I mean, I think if I had to rank the trilogy, I think it'd probably be Dark Knight, then Dark Knight Rises, and then Batman Begins. But that's just how I rank him.
Yeah, the Dark Knight Rises is quite underrated, I think. But I mean, we'll get to that next time. But yeah, no, this is probably the best of the three. I would agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, I actually yeah, I remember watching this back in like 2008. I didn't see it in the cinema, but I remember watching it on DVD, and I wasn't a huge fan of it the first time round, but I think the second time round I sort of realized how good it was. But yeah.
Yeah, I took a while to get into this film, I must admit. I really liked Batman Begins as a kid, but The Dark Knight I struggled to get into. I don't know why, but then it took me a few watches of the film to really appreciate it, and now I do love it. It is really, really good, and all three films, I think, are excellent, to be honest. They're a great trilogy.
Yeah. There he is. There's the master.
Harvey Dent.
He always... Sorry, go ahead.
I say, no, yeah, Aaron Eckhart is great in this film. It's great how he has to go sort of like he's a man who falls from grace. He loses the love of his life, and it kind of just drives him mad. And the way they do Two-Face in the film, I think, is really, really good. But I mean, we'll get to that later. But also, Maggie Gyllenhaal replaces Katie Holmes as Rachel, and I think she's better. I think she's a lot better, actually.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, he was showing the coin there. Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent. I think they explain it. It's like his father's coin or something. And then, of course, part of that coin gets scarred, and then Two-Face uses it, to decide whether, he wants to kill someone or not. But, yeah, I mean, you got Eric Roberts there as the master, and he definitely, in that suit, he definitely dresses, for the occasion. But,
God.
Oh.
I never realised that was him there.
I'm the brains of the organization.
Yeah, that's Eric Roberts, the master. Oh. Oh shit!
Ouch.
Yeah, it's interesting because in the original comic, Harvey Dent, how he becomes Two-Face, I think he's like trying to prosecute this mobster. He's trying to prosecute this gangster. And then the gangster that he's trying to prosecute, like he throws acid in his face, and that's how he becomes Two-Face. But yeah, I mean, I think the way they did his the way he became Two-Face here was done better. But
yeah, because there's more of an emotional. I think there's an emotional core to his character journey, and again the physical effects are much more horrific, and I think they look very good, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean the makeup for Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face was just shit, but yeah,
Tommy Lee Jones was terrible in the role as well.
Yeah, it's a shame because he's a great actor and he just completely hammed it up as Two-Face. But
yeah, I mean, I think Joel Schumacher kind of he didn't really direct the movie; it just went out of control.
Yeah. No, they did a really good job with the character of Harvey Dent here, because in the comic book and everything, he is the DA, the district attorney for Gotham, and they sort of, like they say here, he's sort of the White Knight of Gotham, like he's sort of the guy's trying to clean up the city, and I think that's why the Joker I think that's why the Joker corrupts him and turns him into Two-Face, because I mean, he's sort of seen as the savior of Gotham, and to see him, fall like that, like Batman says, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, Yeah.
Yeah, it is tragic, really, what happens to him, but also, like, seeing the alliance of the three of them, like them two and Batman, is something interesting, and that's what the Joker wants to destroy, because he knows that those three people are the sort of driving force to save Gotham: Batman, Jim Gordon, and Harvey Dent. And the Joker will just exploit that just because he can. He just wants to fuck around with people. He doesn't care about money. It's his motivations aren't money, and that's what most criminals would do things for. But that's why I love the Joker. But But no, it's good to see Harvey Dent introduced here, and yeah, done much better than in Batman Forever.
Yeah, I mean the Joker's like some people in real life. Like there are some murderers out there who they just murder, they kill people just for the hell of it. They enjoy it, psychopaths, and that's what the Joker is. He just sort of enjoys killing people and causing chaos and stuff like that. And yeah, no, and I think they did a good job with fleshing out the character of the Joker and showing us his motivations and showing that he isn't
Yeah.
just this guy who's out for money.
And actually, what we should mention, actually, out of respect, is when the Dark Knight Rises premiered, there was those mass shootings, people dressing up as the Joker. So unfortunately, this film may or may not have influenced some people, mentally unstable people, to do that, which was horrible to hear. But yeah, so my heart goes out to the people that lost their lives at that time.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I get fed up when people like blame movies or games or TV shows for like people killing people in real life, because people out there are just mentally unhinged, and you're going to get these weirdos, and you can't really blame a movie or a game or a TV show if somebody goes out there and kills someone. I mean,
Exactly.
Nolan, when he was,
it's not like the movie set out to actually, damage people. There is just content that may be a bit disturbing to some people. But like you say, usually people are already mentally unhinged in some way, and so it's a shame when movies like blame, when parents blame the movies. But that's why we have age ratings on films. That's why we have classifications, so you know what to see and what's appropriate to see. But
yeah, I like the scene where he gets the two tables together, and I think Maggie Gyllenhaal was definitely a better, she was definitely a better casting choice than Katie Holmes. I mean, I think you pointed out that Katie Holmes decided she wasn't going to come back, and I think Maggie Gyllenhaal's a lot better. She just gives a better performance, and she's more convincing in the role of Rachel. But I mean, I like this whole scene where they're talking about Batman and crime in Gotham and sort of all that stuff. I mean, it's quite good, and you sort of see the Harvey Dent. He's an honest guy. He's not corrupt or anything, and I think Bruce Wayne kind of admires that. He admires the fact that he's not corrupt. He just wants to help the people of Gotham and stop crime and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a really decent guy. His motivations are good, and I think the only thing with him is just Bruce just feels a bit jealous of him because he has Rachel, but then Bruce kind of decided he wasn't going to be with Rachel because he's Batman, and even though she knows that now, he would just put her at risk. So yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if Harvey Dent was Batman.
Yeah. His voice certainly wouldn't be as gruff.
Yeah. Can you imagine Bruce Wayne just turned around to Rachel and said, "Have you regenerated?"
Oh god, yeah. And I think you're right. You pointed out a while ago, Christian Bale does a very good American accent. He's actually a Welshman. So his accent is convincing.
Yeah, I mean, for years I actually thought he was American because of how good his American accent was, yeah, I mean, this scene, I have to say, I love this scene. The whole the whole scene where the mobsters are gathered around the gangsters, and then the Joker comes in. He's like, "Oh," and I thought my jokes were bad.
Oh god, yeah. And then the pencil moment, like Heath Ledger just totally owns this scene, and it's so well written as well. And this is the true introduction to him in the film. The first scene was kind of a tease, I think, to this scene. It's just so good.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting how they're all gathered together. These gangsters, they got this sort of proposition from this like Chinese gangster guy, like businessman or whatever. Or, yeah.
Mm. Yes.
I already have.
I like the way it's sort of, you know, while that's going on, you see like Gordon and, you know, Gotham City Police Department. They're sort of, you know, raiding the place, looking for the money.
Yeah. When he's just laughing.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
And the makeup looks probably terrific. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to shit on Jack Nicholson, but I think the makeup here looks better actually. Like he's got greasy green hair and it's more realistic, I think. Oh God, pencil. But I think his makeup, the fact that it does look a bit faded and it's not completely in line, it looks more realistic. It looks like he's like been through quite a bit in that makeup. He's not taken it off in a while. Whereas Nicholson, I think, looked a bit too clean. If you know what I mean. I'm not criticizing Nicholson as such for that, but I just think the makeup here does appear more realistic.
Well, the thing is with Nicholson, like, you have to remember, like, when they were doing that film, you know, Nicholson's Joker, like, he fell into a vat of chemicals, and you know his skin was bleached. His skin was bleached white, so it's not supposed to be makeup. But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, with Nicholson, you know, they were trying to go with the fact that he, you know, falling into that black, you know, that vat of chemicals. You know, his skin was bleached white and his hair was, you know, bleached green. So here it's more like, you know, they're going for a realistic tone. So it's just a guy who's, you know, cut these scars in his mouth and then put this like makeup on. But yeah.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough, I suppose. Yeah.
It's quite good, you know. He's like, they're the, you know, he's the one, he's the guy, you know. It's interesting that he knows this, that he's, you know, he says to him, like, you know, this is the guy who's like, you know, who's going to betray you. Like,
the thing is, like, I mean, they all think he's a freak, but there is logic to what he's saying. I mean, he may be mad, and batshit crazy, but yeah, he has a point.
Yeah. And this black guy, he just really hates the Joker. He's like, enough with the clown, you know. You think you can just steal with us and get away with it? Yeah. Well,
Enough from the clown.
Let's not blow this out of proportion.
You think you can steal from us and just walk away? Yeah. I'm putting 500 grand for this clown dead. $1 million alive, so I can teach him some manners first.
I can teach him some manners.
I love the sort of shit puns that he comes with, you know. Let's not blow this out of proportion, you know.
I guess
he's just calling.
Because it's the Joker, you know. You just look for that, don't you?
Yeah, he leaves his card, which is the. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. It's just because he's the Joker, you just expect that, don't you?
Yeah, and then he leaves his calling card, which is literally a Joker from a pack of cards. Yeah, in the comics and stuff, but yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting, you know. I mean, I bet the Joker would blow everybody up if they tried to kill him. Like, he's that insane.
It's funny, actually. Heath Ledger is actually from Australia.
Yeah, that's interesting. I thought he was American as well when I watched the film, because I haven't seen him in other films. Like, I know he's in Brokeback Mountain and stuff like that, but I haven't really seen any of his other films.
Yeah, neither have I. But I mean, for what it is, his American accent is also very good.
Yeah. It's a shame he passed away. I mean, I know he got a posthumous Oscar for this, which, you know, was well deserved. But yeah, it is a shame that, you know, he you know, he didn't live, because he was a great actor, and it kind of annoys me that this film never got nominated for Best Picture. I mean, I know it's a superhero film, but, you know, still, you know, it's a great film. You know, it should have been nominated. You know, I mean, if Black Panther can get nominated, then you can nominate this. But yeah.
It won 2 Oscars for, obviously, Heath Ledger, Best Supporting Actor, and then Best Achievement in Sound Editing at one as well, which is quite surprising. But it was nominated for sound mixing, makeup, art direction, film editing, cinematography, and visual effects. So it got loads of nominations, but not for Best Picture, which is a shame. But oh well.
It should have got nominated for Best Picture and Best Director, but
Yes, I agree with that. I think Nolan will get his Best Director Oscar at some point.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting that a superhero film has never won an Oscar, but like for Best Picture.
Well,
Best Picture, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, there's never won a Best Picture Oscar, but yeah, it's funny. Like this film did win 2 Oscars, which is something to be considered as a superhero film. Which that's quite an achievement. And Spider-Man 2 won an Oscar for visual effects, which is quite surprising, but good for it. Yeah.
I mean, I like Black Panther. It's a good film, but I don't understand how that gets a nomination for Best Picture and this doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it didn't win Best Picture, which I'm kind of thankful for because it wasn't the best film of that year anyway. But yeah, it just kind of.
Yeah, it never would have won Best Picture anyway, Jack. I mean, plus these films were 10 years apart, so there's probably been different people that have come in and out of the Academy. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get why Endgame didn't get any Oscar nominations either. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, Black Panther got like loads of nominations and it won like 4 Oscars, but like Endgame didn't get nominated for anything, which was a real shame because I think Endgame's the best MCU film. But yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to take out the Academy, I'm afraid.
Oh no, don't worry. I'll do a rant video on the Oscars. Only joking, Lee.
Yeah. Well. Oh yeah, this is another great scene. Every scenes, all the scenes with the Joker are the best. I mean, when he makes up that bullshit story about his father, and he's like, "Oh, I got these scars."
Yeah. The pacing on this is really good. Like, this just, flew by.
I would actually go so far as to say that The Dark Knight is a masterpiece.
Yeah. No, I probably agree with you, actually. It may be the best superhero film ever.
Yeah. I can't deny, though, I do really have a love for Spider-Man 2. I mean, it's the film I sort of grew up with, so I don't know, I give that a slight edge. But I know this film is probably more highly regarded, but, both of those films would be in my list for, like, top 10 best superhero movies ever.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I think Batman Returns is probably my favorite superhero film because I grew up watching that as a kid and I just loved that. I thought it was a really great film. For me, it's the best of the Tim Burton Batman films. And I mean, even though Dark Knight is probably a better film, I think I just prefer Batman Returns, but that's just me.
I mean, Batman Returns is great. Yeah, I would rank that pretty high as well.
So we're gonna have
tryouts.
Oh. I mean, his Joker's very different from the comics. I mean, it's very similar to the comics, but it's quite different because he's more like he's just more of a sicko. Like, he's more of a psycho. I mean, the Joker in the comics is a psycho as well, but like the Nicholson Joker, like, is kind of closer to the comics in the sense that he's sort of, he's a lot more like pulling off one-liners and stuff. This Joker is a lot more kind of like, psychopathic, but I mean, I think that's good. I think Ledger's portrayal of the Joker is great. He did a really good take on the character.
Oh yeah. If he were alive today, I'm sure he'd still be. He would have come back and played this role again many a time, not just for in The Dark Knight Rises, but probably in other things as well. Maybe for the some video games or something. I know that for the Arkham games, I think they got Mark Hamill back, didn't they? Because he's voiced the Joker before as well.
Yeah, No, he voiced the Joker in Batman the Animated Series, and actually, I think Batman the Animated Series is my favorite portrayal of Batman. I love that show. Very faithful to the comics, and like it's a very well animated show and quite surprisingly dark for like a for an animated show. But yeah, I mean, I think actually Mark Hamill might be my favorite portrayal of the Joker. Even though he only like voiced him, but I think on screen definitely Heath Ledger. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is great as well, but I think Heath Ledger gets the edge because I mean Joaquin Phoenix, he only really became the Joker at the end. For most of that film, he played Arthur Fleck, but yeah.
Yeah. Do you think if Heath Ledger was still alive, they would have put him in the Joker movie? I don't know if they would, you know.
No, I don't think so because that film's very different to Dark Knight, and that's sort of set in a different world to these films. In that film, he's Arthur Fleck, like the Joker in Dark Knight is he's already sort of established himself as a Joker, and he's a lot different to Arthur Fleck Joker. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Joker's such a depressing film. I mean, I'd have to be really in the mood for that because, God, it is harrowing. It's a harrowing watch. It's quite hard to watch it, but no, it was very good. It was very well done. But also, I forgot to talk about Morgan Freeman as well. Nice to see him come back in this film as Lucius Fox.
Yeah, that is nice. Yeah. This scene's pretty good as well, where Batman is on the roof. Yeah. I mean, one thing I don't get. I mean, I like Alan, but I kind of find it weird how he gives Joker a 10 out of 10, and he loves that, but he only gives Taxi Driver 7 out of 10. I mean, I know it's his opinion, but I do think Joker sort of copied some things from Taxi Driver, like the sort of character study elements and some the feel of that. I mean, I think they were inspired by Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. I mean, I kind of find it weird how Alan thinks Taxi Driver's a bit grim and all, but he's perfectly fine with Joker when that's, I think, even more depressing or just as depressing. But yeah.
I don't know, man. You'll have to ask him. I guess he just couldn't get into it as much. I mean, he likes the movie. He doesn't hate Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
But you'll have to ask him about it. He might give you his detailed reasons, or maybe he'll review it.
Yeah. No, I think Joker's more depressing than Taxi Driver, but yeah, I mean, I remember I just find his criticisms of the film a bit weird when he gave Joker a 10 out of 10. But I respect Alan's opinion, but
yeah,
I mean, this scene's great though, where Batman is going after the bad guy, the Chinese guy.
Yeah. Mr. Lau.
Where's the other coronavirus going?
Where are they? This is a good scene.
Yeah. It is a bit weird how it goes from IMAX back to widescreen, then back to IMAX, then back to widescreen for this sequence. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've already talked about this earlier, but yeah, it is a bit jarring, but I've sort of got used to it because I've only ever watched this movie on Blu-ray, so it's all I've known. But imagine in the cinema, it would have been much easier to watch the movie. But yeah, it does it with the Dark Knight Rises as well. So
yeah, no, I mean, it's it doesn't ruin the film. It's just a bit weird, but yeah. Uh-oh. Gonna blow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think the IMAX is better quality. It looks better. Anyway.
It's a bit sharper, I suppose. I mean, I notice IMAX a bit more in the cinema. I've seen a few films in IMAX. I mean, I have to go to another cinema to do so, but IMAX is good. I mean, I wouldn't go every time because it's quite expensive, but you do notice it more in the cinema. So doing this on the Blu-ray is kind of pointless. But Yeah, no, it's good. It's fine. I'm used to it with this.
Please deliver to Lieutenant Gordon. Lol. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen any films in IMAX, but yeah, this whole interrogation scene is pretty good. Where she's like, she's trying to like scare him, and he's like, "Oh, you're not gonna scare me," and then she comes back and he starts talking.
You're glorified.
He's trying. God, imagine if this was Lee Sen Chang. Lol.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He like tries to hypnotize her to forget. Lol.
Mr. Lau.
I like the outfit she's wearing.
She means business.
Ledger's no immunity, protection,
Funny that Batman would interrogate the Joker in this place as well.
Yes, this. Yeah, I think he does actually. Yeah.
I think Gary Oldman is probably even better here than he is in Batman Begins. I mean, he's great in Batman Begins, but I think he gets more to do here. It's probably his best performance as Commissioner Gordon.
Yes, and also because his family get involved in the story as well quite a bit, especially the final scene, which we will get to later. But yeah, it is interesting how much more pressure he's under in this film.
Yeah. There's the master. Can you imagine he just said to Batman, "You will obey me. You will obey me."
Well, see ya. Goodbye to the mobsters.
Yeah. I mean, if John Pertwee was Batman, he just karate chopped the Joker.
I love how she finds the Joker card there in her papers, and that's just immediately tells us, oh shit, she's next. She's going to be targeted.
Yep. Yeah, I think this was perfectly cast. Nolan did a really good job of the casting in this film.
Oh yeah, I mean obviously as well as Christian Bale and Michael Caine returning to their roles, and Gary Oldman. Just Katie Holmes that didn't return, but never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like the themes that this film brings up, like, corruption and, the sort of mind games that the Joker is sort of playing and stuff like that. I mean, this has a lot to say, which is good, about crime and, the Joker's relationship with Batman and who the Joker is and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, I think, Aaron Eckhart gives a really good job as, as Harvey Dent. And yeah, it is interesting to see his sort of character arc in this, how he starts off as this guy who wants to help clean up Gotham, and then the Joker sort of ruins his life and corrupts him and turns him into Two-Face. But
yeah, just because he can.
Oh yeah, that's a bit dramatic. Yeah, and then we get the I mean, I kind of feel bad for that guy. Like, he's the guy from earlier that Batman was talking to, and the Joker just killed him.
After he interrogated him.
Yeah.
Also, it's weird to see Bruce Wayne living in some swanky apartment. I mean, I guess, Wayne Manor is still being rebuilt after it burnt down in Batman Begins.
Yeah. That is one thing I will say about Batman Begins. I kind of wish it didn't burn down Wayne Manor. I mean, I know it's, there for dramatic effect, but yeah. But yeah, this hostage tape is really like disturbing, like, you know, where he's like, woo-hoo-hoo!
He's really, really creepy. I mean, and the way that Ledger's filming it himself as well and doing that. I mean, this must have been really quite hard to film.
Yeah. I mean, he did a really good job directing that.
Look at me.
Yeah. Disturbing. I think I saw some actors say that, you know, Heath Ledger, like, he really studied like films and stuff, and they said that, you know, if he had lived, they think he probably would have become a director at some point, which would have been interesting. Like, I would have loved to have seen him direct some films. Oh, shit.
Creepy. Yeah, I think that's a good point, because maybe Ledger was destined to be a director. Maybe maybe that's where his aspirations were. But I mean, it's funny. Some actors start out directing, and some people who go behind the camera and then transition to in front of the camera. So, you know, the creative industry works in mysterious ways. I mean, if I had the chance to do either, I certainly would. I love acting and I love being behind the camera as well. So, or some people do both. Obviously, like Danny DeVito is very much an example of that, and he was obviously the Penguin in Batman Returns. But in many of his other films, like Matilda, he directed it, and he was also in it. So, yeah, I guess it can work both ways. I mean, maybe who knows what Ledger would have accomplished if he'd lived longer. Sad, he died way too young. Way too young.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know many directors who become actors, but I do know a lot of actors who then become directors. Like, I know Clint Eastwood, he was mainly an actor, you know, in the 50s and 60s. Then, like, in the 70s, he started directing, and he mostly directs now instead of stars in films, because he's, you know, quite old now. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I mean,
some would say he's a bit too old to direct, but he's still going. He'll go until he drops dead.
yeah, and the thing is, he still makes great films. Like, I saw The Mule last year, and he's going to be 90, I think, at the end of May. So, I mean, you know, the guy's, you know, 90 years old, and he's still making films. It's crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy. But I like this scene, the party scene. Obviously, when we get the Joker involved, then it gets a bit more intense. But it's quite a good little moment as well here with Rachel and Bruce.
Yeah. I think Christian Bale's quite. I don't know. Like, is he short in real life, or yeah? I think he must be. Like,
I think he's average. He must be like 5'7" or something. You know, he's not the tallest person in the world, but he's not short either, I would say.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, the cinema screen makes you look taller than you actually are as an actor. Like, Daniel Craig, I had no idea that he was, you know, quite short, you know, compared to the other Bonds. Like, I think all the other Bonds have been like 6 foot. All the other Bonds have been like 6'2" or 6'1". I
Yeah,
think Daniel Craig's like 5'10", but yeah.
yeah, he's still, you know, decent. You know, he's not short, but he's about average, I'd say. But shorter than some people. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taller than him. Yeah.
Wow, 46 minutes in. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's very well paced. I mean, I do think, you know, this goes by a lot faster than Batman Begins. That was one criticism I gave the film, is I find film at points to be a bit slow, but this, you know, manages to keep the pace going from the get-go, and, you know, there's no really dull, boring scenes in this. You know, all the scenes in this are necessary.
Yes, you know, I would probably agree with that.
I mean, I think Christopher Nolan's a great director. I mean, he also directed, I think, a few years before this, Insomnia with Al Pacino and Robin Williams. I mean, that's a great film. That's one of my favorite Nolan films. I mean, I haven't really seen many of Christopher Nolan's films, but out of the few I've seen, I think this film and Insomnia are two of his best.
I've seen Interstellar and Inception as well. They're both good. I mean, Interstellar was a good film, although that was way too long. I think I may review it someday. It's a great film, but it's the ending is very confusing. It's a little abstract, but it's good. And then Inception was also quite good as well. And I know there's a new film he's making called Tenet, which is coming out, well, scheduled to be out in July, but that depends on the lockdown. So yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah. I mean, I never saw Dunkirk, but I heard it was good. But I saw your review, and you just thought it was okay. Yeah.
Yes, I remember seeing that film actually. I've forgotten I'd seen it. Yeah, thank you. yes, Dunkirk was to me it was okay, but it didn't capture the essence of the event. Like it just bored me. I know a lot of people had really liked it. So I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
But it was short, so I'll give it that. It was on the shorter side, so I appreciate that. And Nolan tried his best with the directing, but I don't think it's the best thing he's ever done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I thought 1917 was a great film. I personally think it should have won Best Picture last year, but Parasite was a worthy, film to win as well.
When that film comes out on Blu-ray and we both get it, we should do a commentary on that because I'd love to watch that again.
Yeah. The Night's Entertainment.
He just owns the scene. He's just so good when he comes in and starts intimidating everyone, and it's just brilliant.
Yeah. You know what's great about it as well is he's carrying this, gun prop, and he's chewing food, and he still manages to make the scene really perfect, because you'd think like carrying this prop around and having food in your mouth would be hard to act that scene, but he just does a really good job, trying to intimidate the guests.
Yeah, I think what it is with Ledger is like the little nuances. It's like the little subtleties that he implements into his performance. Not just with the vocalization, but the physical aspects of his performance. Like when he's slapping people, and he's like, "Where is Harvey? Where is he?" And he's holding things and eating things, and an actor studies every aspect. It's more than just delivering lines, And this here, when he goes over to Rachel, where he kind of licks his tongue and pulls his hair back, and Harvey squeals.
I mean, he's a bit of a slime ball, and I love that bit where he intimidates the guys. Like, we're not intimidated by you, and he's like, "You remind me of my father. I hated my father." And this scene is great though, where he's describing his scars, and I love the fact that he's making it up. Like every time he tells a story about the scars, it's a different story, which is great. It really works well for the Joker, because that's what the Joker is. He's full of shit. He just makes stuff up. And I mean, talking about the Joker, I love the fact as well that his hair isn't completely dyed green. You can still see that the roots of his hair are brown, and that he's dyed his hair green. And that really works.
Yeah, and it's all greasy and whatnot, so he looks just completely disgusting and unappealing. But it's funny how this story, he's you say, he's making it up, and he's saying, "Oh, I had a wife, and it was just like you and all that," and he just loves messing with people's heads. He's just the ultimate psychopath, and Maggie Gyllenhaal looks terrified, and she's selling it.
Yeah, I think I think she is terrified, but at the same time, I don't think she is. She's just she just sees this guy for what he is, just a slime ball maniac. And yeah, I think that when she kicks him, he's like, "Oh, we'll fighting you. I like that,
You're gonna love me." Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great scene, yeah.
When he gets the spiked shoe, yeah. So nice call back to Russian with Love.
I think it is, because Nolan's gone on record and saying that he's a massive Bond fan, so I think that was probably a reference to From Russia with Love.
You really are.
Oh shit!
Let her go.
Very poor choice of words.
I like that. That's actually quite clever. This is very poor choice of words. Let her go.
Batman, he's got Rachel.
Ooh. It's amazing they survived.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's a bit ridiculous how they survive, but you know.
Well, I mean, you know, I guess he landed first and she was on top of him, and so I guess you know him, and he's in that suit, so that suit protected him, and she had a fairly soft landing, I guess.
Yeah.
53 minutes. Wow, it is moving.
Yep. It's interesting how they're like sort of using this guy. Like, you know, he doesn't want to really cooperate, but you know, they're saying, you know, you better help us out.
Yeah. Or else.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think Michael Caine is great in the whole trilogy, and I like the fact they added more to Alfred's character, because like in the comics and stuff, he's just, and you know, other portrayals of Alfred, he's just sort of being the butler, like, you know,
Yeah, just kind of
being
there.
like,
You know, he doesn't have as much development.
yeah, exactly. Like, you know, in the other portrayals of Batman, yeah, he's just sort of the butler in the background. But you know, here with the Dark Knight trilogy, he's, you know, he's a fully developed character, and he sort of, and I like the fact that he gives him advice. You know, he tries to give Bruce Wayne advice. Like, he tells him, you know, maybe you shouldn't do this, or maybe you should do that, or maybe you should, you know, listen to what I have to say about this, and you know, it does sort of help, you know, Bruce, you know, and that's what I like about it. He's kind of like I guess you could say Alfred is sort of like a father figure. He's like the father he never had.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, he's like a surrogate father, and he's kind of been his main family since his parents died. And yeah, I like that line there where he says, "Some men just want to watch the world burn." You know, that's it. He's saying the Joker. This guy is unlike any other criminal. He doesn't want money. It's not about that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think, yeah, and that's what's interesting about the Joker, and you know, Alfred's sort of seen this before. You know, he realizes that this guy, you know, he's not out there to, you know, rob a bank, you know, and that's it. You know, he's a guy. You know, he wants to start a fire. You know, he wants to, you know, cause chaos, and yeah, this thing's pretty dark where they find a guys with the smiles on their face, like the Joker, like, yeah.
Us contaminated. It's because of you. These guys are dead.
So much tension.
Yeah, I mean, no offense, love, but you should shut up. You know, I mean, Batman isn't the problem here. Batman's trying to help you.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna drill through this wall.
I got it on Donald Trump. So you're gonna drill through the wall. It's gonna be great.
We're going to make sure that the Joker is great again.
Gotham will be in like ruins and.
Yeah, could you imagine if Donald Trump became the mayor of Gotham? We're going to make sure that we're going to build a huge wall. All the criminals, all the scum will stay in Arkham Asylum, and we'll make sure that we make Gotham great again.
God, yeah. God. That would be funny. Donald Trump was the Joker.
Yeah. I'm going to make this pencil disappear.
Let's not blow this out of proportion. I really like this moment. Like here, Lucius sticks up for Bruce, and he doesn't reveal his identity. Like the guy, the guy there is questioning that this guy is Batman, and he's like, "What? Yeah, you're wrong."
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. Well, hello. My name is More Than Freeman.
Yeah.
I think he does a really good impression of Morgan Freeman. Like he did those adverts, did the adverts, I am more than Freeman. So
Well, nothing to say after that.
yeah. I don't know, but I think maybe Lucius Fox was a guy who's invented for the films. I may be wrong, but yeah, I mean,
I don't know. They've just described. I think his character background is he must have developed artillery for the army, which obviously would explain the design of the Batmobile that he's got for him at the moment, or the Tumbler as they call it.
yeah.
So yeah, and I guess Bruce Wayne's father had sort of links to this guy, hence how Bruce was able to get his equipment. But I don't know how it is in the comics. I've not exactly read the comics, so I can't compare that. In the original Tim Burton movies, he just kind of made the stuff himself, didn't he?
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I don't think Lucius Fox is in any of the comics, because in the comics and in the Burton film and all that, Batman, he just made the Batmobile and all the gadgets himself. But it makes more sense here that Lucius Fox, helped create all this stuff, because Bruce Wayne, like, this is supposed to be more realistic, and it'd be kind of ridiculous if Bruce Wayne built the Batmobile himself. But I guess if he did build it himself, it'd kind of be like Iron Man, like the way Iron Man built the Iron Man suit and stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. And yeah, because they're both sort of very wealthy, so they could afford to do it.
Yeah. This scene is great because I think it's the only scene in the film where you briefly see the Joker without his makeup. Like, he's one of the people in the crowd disguised as a policeman. But
I don't think that's the Joker, man. That guy, I think, is just someone who works for the Joker.
no, I'm pretty sure it is, because I saw scars on his face.
Well, no, that doesn't mean he's the Joker. I mean, I don't think it's the Joker because Heath Ledger doesn't look like that without his makeup. But I mean, we'll have a look and see. But because after the incident, the guy is wearing a badge that says Rachel Dawes, so it's just, I think it's just a goon who's been sent to kind of cause stirs. But I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing the Joker or Heath Ledger in this scene.
I mean, I was always convinced, and maybe I'm wrong, but I was always convinced that the guy with the scars and no makeup on was the Joker without any makeup, and that was the only scene he appeared without makeup on. But I mean, I'd have to look that up. Maybe it is a goon, but I'm pretty sure. Like, I thought anyway that it was the Joker without makeup on, because the guy's got scars on his face like the Joker, and it's a brief scene anyway. So I mean, you can already tell. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it is, because there's a scene afterwards where Harvey Dent is interrogating him about the Joker. So I'm pretty sure he isn't, but you never know. That guy, yeah.
It's that guy there, yeah.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, possibly, yeah. No, that guy. Sorry, I thought you meant the guy with the black hair.
No, the guy who fired the shot there. That looks like the Joker without any makeup on, because he's got the scars on his face. But yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Sorry, my mistake. You might be right about that. But I assumed you were talking about the guy with the black hair because I thought, well, no way, he can't be the Joker.
No. Yeah, I think that was the Joker there, the guy who shot at them and ran off because he's got the scars on his face. Not this guy with the black hair, but yeah.
I like how he's wearing the badge that says Rachel on it, so that's how you know who's the next target.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously this guy's in the Joker, but yeah, there is a brief scene where you do see the Joker there without his makeup, and he fires at them, and then he runs off, and he's in the police outfit as well. I think that's the only time you see the Joker without his makeup, but yeah.
Mm. The thing, Jim Gordon isn't even dead. Like he's, I guess he's in a coma or something. Like he just suddenly reappears in the film. We don't really see what happens after this. He's just been shot, so I guess he's in a coma.
This isn't. I wonder why she gets angry at Batman. I mean, it's not his fault. Why does everybody blame Batman for fuck's sake?
I think she thinks that Batman has attracted all the villains because they've seen this guy who's dressed up in a costume and tried to make a statement. I think that's the reason. But and also because Batman worked closely with Jim Gordon. But yeah, I don't know, maybe.
There he is. There's the master. I'm looking for the master.
Anyone who's epileptic better not watch this scene because of the flashing lights in the club.
Yeah, that's true. It's to be an epileptic's worst nightmare. You know what they should have done? Like, it would be quite funny, like as a sort of in joke, if Eric Roberts' character said to Batman, "Well, I see you dress for the occasion."
God, yeah.
Well,
You dress without any hockey pads.
Where's Rachel?
I think with this film, there's more stakes because the Joker's always one step ahead. They never quite know what he's going to do next. He's very unpredictable, and I think that's starting to scare everyone at this point. This is kind of the turning point, I think, of the film when just I think when Rachel dies, very tragically.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing about the Joker. He's really planned out what he's going to do. You know, he's planned out each part of what he's doing. You know, each part of his plan.
Hmm. Oh. Oh.
It must have broken his legs.
I think he did, yeah.
You know, I'm surprised he didn't die from that height, but yeah.
Someone knows where he is.
You got rules. The Joker, he's kind of.
Funnily enough, Eric Roberts is actually the brother of Juliet Roberts.
Yeah.
Just take off that mask. Let him come find you.
Take off your mask and then let him find you. I mean, he's just going to kill him anyway, and he's just going to kill everyone anyway, so taking his mask off isn't going to change much, really.
One thing I will say, I do think Eric Roberts probably gives a better performance here than he does in the TV movie as the Master. I mean, he's very over the top as the Master in the movie, but
they are two very different films as well. One of them is more cheesy than the other.
Yeah, I mean, I actually quite like the TV movie. I think it's pretty good, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good movie, but it is cheesy, you know.
Yeah.
How much flips the coin to decide whether he lives or dies.
Yeah. I can't decide whether you should live or die.
Yeah, God. Thankfully, there's no dancing superheroes in this movie.
I can imagine the Joker dancing to that song.
paranoid schizophrenic. Former patient at Arkham, the kind of mind the Joker attracts. What do you expect to learn from him?
Batman sort of trying to teach Harvey Dent.
Joker killed Corinne. Kill Rachel. You're the soul of hope. I can never be. Your stand.
I mean, you sort of can't tell that that's Christian Bale with the mask on, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we can, but I guess Harvey Dent can't. He's still fooled because of the voice, you know.
That's the thing about Batman. If he really wanted to be, if he really wanted to disguise himself, he would wear something over the mask, like the jaw part as well. So people wouldn't recognize him. But yeah,
maybe yes.
Oh.
So Batman's gonna turn himself in.
So he's decided that he hasn't got a choice. He's going to turn himself in, but that's still not going to fix anything.
Yep. Nope, it's not. I like the fact that he still really cares for Rachel, even though they're not together anymore.
Yeah, he still loves her. He's just, he can't be with her because, Ooh.
That's a bit. Oh, come on! She's got Harvey. You shouldn't be doing this.
Two-timing bitch.
Yeah.
Only joking.
I bet she would sleep with him.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy.
Mm. Does he really say goodbye to it? Yeah.
I think there was just batarangs there, weren't they?
Yes, yeah, he put these batarangs away. Why did he get this underground bunker? That's what I want to know. Or did he build it? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it seems a bit convenient. He must have built it or something. Like, but saying that, how could he have built it without anybody noticing?
Yeah. He must have done it after his manor burnt down, and then because there's loads of compartments that just open up for him, or maybe he already built it before Wayne Manor burnt down as a precaution. I don't know, but yeah, it is rather convenient, isn't it? But it looks like they're leaving it; they're not going to come back. So
yeah, it's a bit convenient. Not only that, but the fact is as well is how did he build it without anybody noticing? Can you imagine if somebody found it and then entered and found the Batmobile and everything? But yeah,
he probably had Trump's permission to build it.
Yeah, you're gonna build your Batcave, and you're gonna make sure that you're gonna vote for me in the next election.
If there's going to be an election, Donald, if there's going to be one, oh god. Let's not go there.
I'm definitely going to be re-elected. I'm great, and all you other losers suck.
And I'm going to vote for myself.
Trump's probably friends with the Joker.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, this is quite noble of him, really. He decides to take the rap and pretend that he's Batman. I mean, that's true heroism right there. Harvey Dent is a true, genuine guy, and he puts his own life at risk for the sake of the people, just to end this suffering. Because Bruce was going to do it himself, but yeah, Harvey's a real decent guy.
Yeah. If Christian Bale balls this up, he'd be called Christian Fail. But
Christian Bale, yeah, it would have been. Where he just says there, "I am the Batman." I don't know if any of them quite believe him, but they're kind of just surprised that he just took the rap there.
I don't know why he does it though, because he's not Batman, and I mean, I suppose it's like he wants to protect the identity of Batman, but You know, I don't know why he does it. You know, yeah.
I think he does it for the people of Gotham more than Batman himself. He just decides that, you know what, this suffering can't go on any longer. We just need to keep the people safe. And then you're far better that I go down from the Joker rather than the people. But again, the Joker's unpredictable, so none of this really would make any shed of a difference.
One thing that doesn't really make sense though is the police just arrest him with no evidence. I mean, they would have to arrest him first. Like they would have to prove that he's Batman and prove what he's saying. You know, it's a bit. I mean, I'm not shitting on the film, but it's a bit ridiculous that he just says I'm Batman and they arrest him immediately. You know, like they would have to have some evidence. But I mean, I suppose like they would question him. But yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, I think in the next scene, there's an action scene where they're trying to transport him to another station or something. So I think they're going to interrogate him there, perhaps, or yeah, maybe the whole thing was just a setup. I don't know, but although then Rachel seems to be kind of confused by the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. You know, it's funny. Imagine if he was Batman, because he would have been the first blonde Batman before Robert Pattinson. But
yeah, Robert Pattinson. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I mean, he's not a bad actor, Robert Pattinson. Actually, like I recommend you watch The Lighthouse because he's actually a good actor. I mean, people just sort of don't like him because he was in Twilight, but he's actually a pretty good actor. But yeah.
It's not really that I have a problem with this. It's the fact that, I don't know, I feel he's a bit too young to play Batman, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think there's so many actors that have played this role now. It's kind of unprecedented. It's one of the most recast roles in Hollywood, I think. You started out with Adam West, and then Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and now Robert Pattinson. There's just so many. And then there's the whoever voiced him in the animated series.
Oh, Kevin Conroy. Yeah, he actually did the
Conroy.
voice of Batman. Yeah, Kevin Conroy also did the voice of Batman in the Arkham games.
Yes, yeah, and he did a great job. I mean, I never finished Arkham Knight, but I played the first three, and they were pretty good. I mean, Arkham City was probably the best.
Yeah. I think he has the coolest voice as Batman. Kevin Conroy is the most intimidating voice as Batman. But yeah,
I'd probably agree with that. Yeah, this is a great action scene.
I love the truck that smiles on it, but yeah. Instead of miles, it's smiles. Like he puts the S on it. Yeah.
Let's put a smile on that face.
Let's put a smile on that truck.
Red lorry, yellow lorry.
What was that?
Oh.
Slaughter.
Slaughter. Yeah, that's it. Instead of laughter, it's slaughter.
What kind of Joker just appears out of the side of the truck and starts shooting with his pistol? Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of laughter is the best medicine, it now says slaughter is the best medicine.
Yeah.
This is a great action film as well. Like, really good action film.
I mean, the action doesn't come too often, but when it does come, it is pretty spectacular, I will say.
He's got an RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't have tons of action, but I like that. It's more focused on the characters and the story. I mean, if it was just a shoot 'em up action fest, then that'd be a real shame, because I think Man of Steel made that mistake of just being an all-out action fest towards the end.
Yeah.
Like the last 45 minutes or hour and a half is just action.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Man of Steel is basically a mess.
Yeah.
But I think The Dark Knight Rises has the most action. I mean, it has that final battle, which goes on for quite a while. But then there's a long time in The Dark Knight Rises when there's not much action. But we'll get to that next time.
Yeah. Hit me.
Okay, rack 'em up.
I think that scene where he says "hit me," I think that might be a reference to the '89 Batman film where Jack Nicholson's Joker's like, come on, you gruesome bastard, come at me, and then he gets out the pistol and shoots him, through the bat jet. But yeah.
Hmm. Oh wow, that's pretty explosive.
I think they filmed this in Chicago, and they did a really good job of making it look like a different city, like Gotham.
Yeah, it does feel like its own city in a way.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the Batmobile being used a bit more because it was only really used like once in Batman Begins, in that one action scene.
Yeah. I think the reason why I wasn't a huge fan of this when I first saw it was because it was very realistic. And the Batman films before that, like the Tim Burton ones and all that, they were sort of hyper realistic. They were more like comic. They felt more comic booky. This one is a lot more realistic take, and I think it works. I mean, I like the fact that they tried to make it more realistic. It works for the Nolan Batman films.
It's like Transformers. When he just merged that one. I don't know why he blows it up. Why does he need to blow it up?
Yeah. So, can you imagine when he turned into the Bat bike? He said, "To the Bat scooter."
To the Bat Clio.
Can you imagine Jim Broadbent in the Dark Knight? Why do you want to kill me?
Robin, help me!
Batman, what is the opposite of yes? No. Right answer.
I don't get why he blew up the Batmobile though. Like, there's no reason to do that. He's probably got another one anyway, but
I don't get it either. Actually, do you know what? You know why he probably blew it up? Because if the police found that, they could analyze it, and they could probably find out that maybe Wayne Enterprise made that vehicle, or they could sort of track it to Lucius Fox. That's why he probably blew it up, so the police wouldn't get their hands on it. But I mean, maybe that's just me. But yeah.
No, and I think that's a valid point. I think it's a fair assessment to say that, because I think he's probably got another one stashed away somewhere.
Yeah.
And he pays Lucius for all of these things anyway.
Yeah, it's cool. It could turn into this bike. It's so awesome.
I would have loved to have seen this film in the cinema now. I really wish I could have done. My dad was going to take me to see it, but we never got around to it.
Yeah. No, I never saw it in the cinema. I just remember watching it in the DVD. But I did see the next film in the cinema, The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, that was the only one of the three that I saw in the cinema.
Yeah, see, and that was the only one I saw in the cinema as well, The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. I mean, seeing Dark Knight Rises in the cinema was great.
Oh yeah, it was long, but it was a great experience.
Yeah, I think I saw it in the cinema with my brother and my mum, and she really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
This is a great action scene. It's nice to have this action scene because for a while there we had some dialogue scenes which are good, but it was nice to have a bit of action to break it up.
It does add some pace to the film. It's quite a long sequence as well, so it's yeah, it's good.
Oh,
I mean,
it's interesting that sorry, go ahead.
I say he's never looked more in character than he does there when he's like, "Come on, I want you to do it. I want you to hit me."
Yeah, I think I had the poster of this where we're standing in the middle of the road or whatever like that. I think that was the poster for the movie. I think I actually had the poster of that. I used to have that on my wall when I was younger. But
yeah. Funny that, because that's the cover of the Blu-ray, or not the slipcase, but when the actual case, it's the cover of that.
Yeah, I had a poster of that when I was younger. Yeah. Sadly, I don't have it anymore, but yeah.
Please just give me a minute. You think the Joker?
Yes,
Sorry.
sorry.
After you.
No, you go. No, you go ahead.
So, do you think the Joker sort of thought he was going to get captured? Like, I think he wanted to get captured because he wanted to tell them about Harvey Dent and Rachel.
Yeah, and I mean the Joker. He always has a plan B. Like when he's captured, he has another plan going on, which is great. He's a very unpredictable character, and that's what I love about him in this film and just in general. But yeah, I mean, talking about that scene there that just went past. I mean, that whole scene where he's saying, hit me, hit me. I think he genuinely wants Batman to kill him because in the comic books and other stuff, the Joker wants Batman to kill him so he'll break his code, because Batman's sort of code is he'll never kill anyone. He'll just take him in. And I think there is a Batman animated film or whatever, or cartoon where the Joker is Batman kills the Joker and the Joker's sort of laughing. He's like, "Oh, I've won. You've killed me." And yeah,
Yeah,
he just wants to break Batman's code and break Batman. Make him do the things that he'll never do. Which is kill someone.
yeah, and that makes it better for him because then he can keep mentally and physically tormenting him and messing things up in Gotham and whatnot. And I think the Joker just has too much fun, really. He'd rather not see Batman die. He'd rather just have him around so he can just mess him about.
Yeah. That scene there where the Joker's clapping, I read apparently that was improvised. Heath Ledger improvised that scene. Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's not clapping for the NHS.
Oh.
It's funny the scene when Jim Gordon just came home. Honey, I'm home. And then she just slaps him across the face.
Yeah. I don't think he was he in a coma. I don't think he was. I think they thought he was dead, but he wasn't. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Did he fake his death or I assumed he actually got shot and then he must have been in a coma. But we never saw him after that scene when he was shot, or if he was shot. It's kind of hard to tell, really.
Yeah.
That's the one thing Nolan didn't make very clear about that. But yeah.
I like that scene with his son. That was quite nice. But yeah. Now apparently Heath Ledger did improvise a few things in this film, like that scene where he's clapping, he improvised. And the scene later on where he comes out of the hospital and he keeps pressing the button, apparently he improvised that as well. So, I mean, Heath Ledger really brought loads to this performance.
I think he just fell in love with the character as well. I mean, and I think he lost himself in the character more than most actors would, I think.
Yeah.
Because didn't Ledger die of it was a drug overdose, wasn't it?
Yeah, apparently it was accidental though. He took too many sleeping pills and that's how he died apparently, but yeah.
Yeah, and people blamed the Joker role for that. There's rumors and allegations that he had been taking drugs at the time when he was researching, well, I say researching in quote unquote for the role. But I don't know if I really believe that. I don't know how true that is. But yeah.
No, I think Christian Bale and a few other people came out and said that was bullshit. It was just something made up by, people. I mean, I looked into it and his death was completely accidental. He just, he took sleeping pills and unfortunately he took too many sleeping pills, so it killed him. And it was a complete accident. It wasn't intentional. He wasn't a heavy drug user or something. He just overdosed on sleeping pills, unfortunately. But yeah.
Oh, this scene is fantastic when he interrogates him.
Yeah. Never start with the head, it makes the vism all fuzzy. See?
Here I am.
I love the way the Joker he just wants to fuck with Batman.
Yeah. I love how even more faded the makeup looks.
Yeah. God, I didn't notice this now, but yeah, I think that's a bruise above his eye from, the Batman hitting him against the table.
I think so, yeah. I think you're right. Because part of that, obviously, is the makeup that's smudged, but I think, yeah, the bruise has come about from that.
Yeah. That laugh is great.
You complete me.
Yeah. He's such a sick bastard. He wants to do that. Like, he's just done all of this to get Batman's attention, Like,
Mm.
because he sort of sees Batman as, his arch enemy, but at the same time he just wants his attention. He just wants, to be noticed by him, and that's why he's doing all this, just so Batman will get his attention,
Yeah, exactly. And then he can fuck with him even further by saying, I've got Dent and Rachel tied up. You can only save one of them.
That's sort of the sick, twisted game he plays. I mean, that's what the character's about. Just about
Yeah.
playing games and fucking about with people,
All these rules.
I mean, I think they're both great in this scene, but I do think Heath Ledger steals the scene with his acting. He's so great.
It's one of the only scenes that they're together in. I think that there's another scene at the end, but they have very few scenes together, actually, which is surprising.
Yeah. That's also sort of the case with Heat. Like, Heat, Al Pacino's a cop going after Robert De Niro, who's this bank robber, and they only have like 2 or 3 scenes together. Like, there's the cafe scene, and later on where he's chasing him. But they sort of do the same here. They don't have many scenes between Batman and the Joker, which I think actually works. Like, yeah.
Where are they? And Bale's so like he's going for it in this scene.
Yeah. You can tell he's, the Joker's really pissed Batman off. Fucking hell.
And he's just enjoying himself.
Yeah. Nothing. This is great.
I mean, this scene is a masterpiece. I think Nolan's direction here is superb. I mean, this scene actually won me over to the film, I think, a few years ago when I rewatched it.
Yeah. And I've always loved this scene. Someone did a very funny parody of this scene on YouTube where Batman's interrogating the Joker and he's like, "Where's Rachel?" And he's like, I can't understand you. You're just mumbling." Like,
What's also weird about this scene is how he actually tells Batman the wrong thing. He tells them the wrong places, so he ends up saving Harvey Dent, and then Rachel ends up dying, which is very sad.
I mean, when I was younger, when I was watching this, I always thought he just chose to save Harvey Dent instead. Like, I didn't know that the Joker led him to the wrong place. But,
yeah. Well, they said, "Which one are you going after?" And then he said, "I'm going for Rachel." But so the police think they're going for Dent, but they actually come to the building where Rachel's in, but they're too late, and then he saves Harvey Dent. But I'm on my phone call.
yeah. It's interesting that they're talking to each other like over that phone. I mean, it's quite dark, it makes the scene very dark.
And the fact that there's a phone inside that prisoner's stomach. I mean, oh god, how did they even get there?
Yeah, doesn't it turn out to be a bomb or something later on? It's like it activates a bomb or some shit. I don't know, but
I think it might have been actually, yeah.
Because I think they copied this scene in one of the Batman comics that came out after this. Like, there's a guy who's got like a bomb in his chest. Yeah. No. Yeah, I mean, of course, Batman would go for Rachel. You know, Bruce would go for Rachel
Yeah.
because he loves her. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he
Harvey
gets the wrong
right, is he?
unless Batman's gay.
Where's Harvey?
No, I think it'd be more like, where's Harvey? Do you know where Harvey is?
God. Shit.
That's how he becomes Two-Face. He gets his face covered in the oil.
Yeah, and that sets his face alight. I'm surprised all of his face didn't burn, to be honest.
Well, I mean, only one half of his face was on fire, but yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
It's quite an emotional scene, actually, for the two of them, because they're, you know, two lovers, and then, you know, she says, yes, I'll marry you, you know, and it's sad when she goes, you know, because she would have married Harvey and they would have been happy, but the Joker just destroyed all that Harvey had left, really.
yeah.
Oh, hi,
I feel
Sam.
bad for. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying hi to Sam. He's just put the message in the chat.
All right.
Oh,
I feel bad for Billy D. Williams because he was gonna originally play. I mean, he played Harvey Dent in the first Batman film, and he was gonna play Harvey Dent, and he was gonna become Two-Face in the third Batman film if Tim Burton ever did it, but that never happened, unfortunately. And only Tommy Lee Jones in the role, and I think he would have been really good as Two-Face Billy D. Williams, but sadly that never came to be.
yeah, sad. Burton should have directed those other two films, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the studios were the ones who got rid of him, sadly, but yeah.
They wanted to take it into campy land.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, sorry, go ahead.
So we've been on for over an hour and a half. Fuck, it's gone quickly.
Yeah. Ugh, yeah, this scene with the mobile in his ugh. The bomb in his body is pretty dark.
The Joker really planned this out, didn't he?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Mark Hamill's my favorite Joker as well. Sam, but I think Heath Ledger's definitely the best on-screen portrayal of Joker.
I have to agree with you, Jackie.
Oh dear.
See, Batman didn't know. That's
so bad. I feel so bad for Rachel. And the Joker's he's a real sick bastard, you know. He lied to Batman. He told him, you know.
That shocked me when I first saw it. I didn't believe she died. I couldn't believe it.
It's very oh Jesus, shit.
Oh, it's too dramatic. This is probably my favorite Batman film, to be perfectly honest. I know you say Batman Returns, fair enough, man, but for me, this film just ticks so many boxes. I love Batman Returns as well. That's a great one.
No. Dark Knight's probably the best Batman film, but I just think I have more nostalgia for Batman Returns because I remember watching it as a kid and loving it. But that's not saying that Dark Knight's shit. You know, Dark Knight's great. I mean, they're both 10 out of 10 films for me. You know, I don't know, to be honest. I might prefer this, but I think I might prefer Batman Returns just because I remember watching it as a kid and loving it, and yeah, I have some nostalgia for that film, but I really love this one as well. Like, yeah, it's definitely my second favorite Batman film, or maybe joint first favorite. I don't know.
Well, I love that little like narration from Maggie Gyllenhaal, which is the letter that she was going to give Bruce to say, I'm done. We're done. I'm moved on, and I'm going to marry Harvey Dent, and we're going to live happy. And I hope you understand. And it's just, oh, it's too late. It's just real sad as well for Bruce, because this is his oldest friend, you know, who's just died, you know.
Yeah. Oh, she was going to marry Harvey Dent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very sad scene, and I feel so bad for Harvey as well, because the Joker fucking ruined his life. You know, he killed Rachel, and half his face was burnt off. You know, I'm surprised. He flips the coin, and he decides not to kill Joker, but I'm surprised he just doesn't kill him anyway because of what he did to him. But
yeah. Alfred's always the voice of reason, isn't he, in these films?
Yeah. Sir, I mean, I have to be honest, you forgot to blow the bloody doors off.
Yeah.
You only meant to bloody blow the doors off.
Bless him, he's grieving as well. He's grieving for his best friend. And well, he loved her, as well. So he'll have to learn to let her go now, which is sad.
Yeah. We got a great new district attorney. His name is Harvey Dent. Give it up, people, for Harvey Dent.
Interesting how he does manage to find love again in The Dark Knight Rises. Obviously, Bruce, when he meets Catwoman.
I mean, the CGI they did here was really good. Like, you really believe that, even though it's CGI, you really believe that half his face is being burnt off, and they did a really good job, like, building up to that. Like, I mean, you don't see it just now; you just see that cloth over half his face, but the way they build up to it is great. And I like the fact that the coin, like half of it's burnt, and it's interesting that he sort of develops this split personality because of what's happened to him. Like, there's the Harvey Dent side of him, and then there's the bad side, which is Two-Face. But yeah,
I want to say as well, I like that moment just now where he looks at the coin and then he remembers Rachel, and then he yells, but it's all juxtaposed with the music. It's silent, like you don't hear his yell, you just see him yelling, and you hear the music. It's really quite haunting, powerful. I mean, I think he's just grieving. He's just a man he's just living with his grief, and that's what splits his personality. And I like the fact that they tell it from an emotional point of view, because you don't want to turn him into a villain after you spend so much time investing in this guy. He's the Gotham's White Knight. I mean, even though he does say, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain, even though he says that, he's still not really a villain. He's a man who's lost his way because of the grief of his fiance, and it's sad what the Joker has reduced him to by the end of the film. He's a wreck, and it's so sad to see him go that way.
Oh God. Yeah, it's horrible, like, to see what's happened to him. I think with the death of Rachel, I think that's really the death of Harvey Dent, and the sort of birth of Two-Face, because he's lost everything that he ever wanted. He wanted to be with her, and and the fact that she's dead now, that's sort of the birth of Two-Face. And yeah, wow, I mean, look at that. I mean, that is really creepy, and I mean, even now, those visual effects still really hold up, and
yeah,
wow.
It's very gory.
Yeah.
I do agree about the pacing in this film. It is better paced than Batman Begins, but I still really like Batman Begins. But there's so much more that happens in this film, and this scene as well. I love when he burns the money. It's just like he just tries to prove a point to all the all the other mobsters and gangsters.
Yeah.
tactical units for conversion from
I love that it's a mountain of money.
units to cover all possible getaway routes.
Yeah.
It's probably the best film of 2008, I think. Actually, The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I probably agree with you. I mean, I can't really remember any other films from 2008, but I think it probably is the best film of 2008. It should have won. It should have been nominated and it should have won Best Picture. But yeah, I love the fact that he's just fucking with this guy. He's just gonna burn all this money for the hell of it. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a crap about money, and this really highlights that. It highlights how much he doesn't give a shit about money. The fact that he burns this huge stack of money, which is probably like worth millions.
Yeah. I mean, to mobsters, that's like that's their pièce de résistance. That's what they live for. They live for money. But the Joker's he's just psychedelic. Yeah, like you say, it's not about money. He loves the thrill of crime and the thrill of just fucking people around, and it's a perfect scene.
Yeah, and also it sort of calls back to the bit where Alfred says, some men just want to see the world burn. Like literally, he's burning this stack of money. It's like watching the world burn for this guy. All this money that's just flushed down the loo because the Joker just decided to burn it all.
And then we'll see how loyal a hungry.
I like that part when he's says this city deserves a better classic criminal. I'm gonna give it to him. Let's feed you to your little pooches.
Yeah, let's see how loyal your little dogs will be. Once you're cut up into little bits. This is really creepy. The fact that he calls up this talk show or something. Yeah.
He's able to broadcast it from where he is as well.
I love the fact instead of CNN, it's GCN.
Gotham Global Network or something like that.
Yeah, Gotham City News probably. Yeah.
Call in every officer. Tell them to head to their nearest hospital and start evac and search. Call the transit authority, school boards, prisons. Get every available bystander. The priority is Gotham General.
Gotham General, yeah.
I would have given Gary Oldman an Oscar for this performance. He's great. I mean, it really shocked me that he was only nominated for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy before he won the Oscar for Darkest Hour. But yeah, he should have been nominated for performance in this film at least, because it's kind of amazing he wasn't nominated because he's so great.
I agree. I mean, it's although I'm glad he won for The Darkest Hour, because if any film that he was in deserved it, it was that. Trouble is, Heath Ledger stole the show with this film. He really did. So I think Ledger really deserved the Oscar this time. So, and it could only go to one person, really. So.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm glad Heath Ledger won the Oscar. I'm just saying I would have given, if I could have given 2 Oscars, I would have given an Oscar to Gary Oldman as well. But yeah.
Oh, geez, there's always someone has to come and destroy the moment.
I mean, I'd hate to live in Gotham City. It's just a cesspool of crime.
Pretty much.
It's kind of ironic that they filmed this in Chicago, because Chicago at the moment, it's really it really is a.
It's in lockdown, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, Chicago, for the last quite a while has been just a sort of the capital of crime in America. Like, you think about it, like Al Capone and all his gangsters are in Chicago, or were in Chicago, and we still got the mafia in Chicago, and people were getting shot a lot in Chicago, and it's kind of ironic that Gotham City, it's a city full of crime, and they filmed it in the capital of crime and in America, which is Chicago. But yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. Also, I forgot to mention the soundtrack by Hans Zimmer is also very good again, even though the music's very similar to Batman Begins, but it still works very well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a great composer, Hans Zimmer, but I do think he is a tad bit overrated. I mean, some of his soundtracks are he always has that like sort of thing, like, yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, he does tend to. I think for some of Nolan's movies, he has reused some of the same themes, but yeah, I mean, I'm confident he'll do well for No Time to Die. So, well, I hope the soundtrack's good for that film.
yeah, I love the fact that the Joker's dressed up as his nurse. It's just really creepy. And you can tell he hates the Joker. He doesn't want anything. Doesn't want him near him. Hi.
Hi, like the wig.
Yeah. I mean, he's turned Harvey into him, basically. He's turned him into a psychopath.
Yeah.
I didn't read those charges.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Eckhart does a really good job of showing you how Harvey Dent turns into Two-Face. You can tell he's filled, now that he's in that condition and the fact that Rachel's dead, he's filled with a lot more rage, and anger. Like,
Yes, yeah, and obviously he's physically deformed, shall we say?
yeah.
I'm not a schemer. I try to show the schemers how pathetic.
It's all bullshit, That's the thing with the Joker. You can listen to him go on all day, but it's all bullshit,
Yeah. Thing about Joker as well is he just loves the sound of his own voice,
Yeah. I mean, would you say the Joker is somewhat of a narcissist?
Oh yeah, completely. He's a complete narcissist. Yeah, he only cares about himself. He doesn't have. That's the thing about the Joker. He doesn't have any empathy for anybody. He doesn't care about anybody. Like even Harley Quinn, he doesn't give a shit about her. Like in Batman the animated series and the comics and films, Joker doesn't even care about Harley Quinn. He just he wouldn't give a shit if she died. Like. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, it was nice. Speaking of Harley Quinn, it was nice to see Birds of Prey. Even though it's not a brilliant film, but Margot Robbie's a great Harley Quinn. She's really good.
Yeah, I'd love to seen her like opposite Heath Ledger on screen as a Joker. I think that would have been great. Or it would have been great if they had Joaquin Phoenix's Joker with Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, but instead we got Jared Leto's Joker, which wasn't very good. But
yeah. Shame. Maybe they will do a crossover with her and Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, there have been rumors about it. I mean, fans have said they would love to see it, but I don't know if it will ever happen because I do feel like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is in a separate universe.
Yeah, I think they said now like they're in like the DC films, like Jokers are in a separate universe from the main DC films. But yeah, no, I love that bit where he's like, everybody loses their minds, like, yeah.
Chaos.
This is such a great scene. He doesn't. Imagine if he flipped the coin and the Joker, and it came out the wrong way. The Joker would have let Harvey kill him. I mean, that's how much he just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. He says, I'm an agent of chaos, and he's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Now we're talking.
Oh, dear.
There's just so much tension.
I love the detail there, like with CGI, like where his sort of burnt face is. There's like bits of dust around there or something from his face. Like they did a really good job, like with the detail there.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Joker washes his hands as well. I mean, he must know about the coronavirus, about washing your hands. Lol. This is one thing I don't understand. How did he think that Bruce Wayne was just doing this? Accidentally crashed in. Like I mean that to me would look deliberate. But
it's because he manages to fool them that he didn't see what was going on. He was just caught in the collision. But...
Yeah, this scene's great where he blows up the hospital, and this scene's in IMAX.
We never see Harvey Dent escape, though, do we?
No, we don't know. Yeah. Yeah, but this scene here is completely improvised. Like when, the rest of the bombs don't go off, he just starts pressing the button. Like Heath Ledger improvised that. Such a great bit of comedy. Yeah.
It is actually like the subtle comedy works. And actually, when I was in college, I had to sound design this scene, which was quite fun. Actually, it was a nice project.
I think the reason why I improvised that was the bombs didn't go off at the right time, and he just continued on the scene. And of course, the bombs, started going off, and the effects started going off, and it's a great moment. But yeah,
it is actually, and sometimes like the best moments come out of improvisation. So yeah, why not? I mean, I think the Joker is a part that you can actually have moments to improvise.
I agree with you. Like the best moments sometimes come from improvisation. Like that whole scene in Taxi Driver where Robert De Niro says, "Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?" Into the mirror, like which is probably the most famous scene of that film. Like he improvised that. So yeah.
More video.
Breaking news. It says breaking news. Oh God, can you imagine Pierce Brosnan? I may have some breaking news for you, Commissioner.
Yeah.
You forgot the first rule of mass media. Give the people what they want.
One thing I don't get about Gotham is, after all this tyranny, why haven't they told them to stay in their homes? It's just such a dumb thing. Like, surely there shouldn't be so many people out. They should just say, stay in your homes, Well,
I suppose. I mean, the Joker's only one person, so I think they think that he won't. He won't be maybe as a big enough threat. I don't know, but yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I guess as well, yeah, people have to work and stuff, so they can't spend all day stuck at home.
Yeah.
Like we are now.
Yeah, it's only happened to us now, the coronavirus, but yeah.
Ugh.
There he is. There's Two-Face.
How it drips onto his chin.
Yeah, the visual effects for this are just fantastic. They still hold up 12 years later.
Yeah, it is scary actually. It's freaky how good it looks. See with his eye as well, and it is realistic.
Yeah. No, it's a really great scene. It's fantastic, and yep.
I just feel so sorry for Harvey Dent. He's just, his whole world has completely sort of fallen apart.
Yeah. And this is the story of how my life got turned upside down. Well, yeah.
In the words of Rose Tyler, this is the story of how I died.
Yeah. No, I think yeah, the effects are they're so good. 12 years later, the effects really hold up. It probably should have won an Oscar for best visual effects.
I think it was nominated for visual effects, but it didn't win.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do think Aaron Eckhart gives a really great performance because, at the start of the film, he's sort of calm, he's collected, he's the the DA for Gotham, and then after that scene where Rachel gets killed, he becomes a lot more angry. Like he shouts a lot more. Like you can tell as Two-Face, he's like full of rage.
Yeah, and he's completely grief-stricken.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't know what to do anymore. I think that, yeah, like I said earlier, like the scene where Rachel dies is sort of the birth of Two-Face. You know, that's sort of the death of Harvey Dent as a character and the beginning of Two-Face. You know, and then when the Joker comes along, that sort of cements that. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think the death of Rachel is really the turning point of the movie. I think that's when it really starts to go down for a lot of the characters, especially Harvey Dent. And I mean, the film is structured perfectly. It sort of plays out very well, actually. And it's a long movie. I mean, it's 2.5 hours long, but it's very intriguing. It's just so dramatic.
yeah. Well, yeah, this scene's great where Two-Face confronts Eric Roberts' gangster character.
Yeah. So I guess Two-Face is not a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, God, I mean, even though that's only half his face, can you imagine what the whole face would look like? My God, it would be. He wouldn't be alive if the other half of his face was like that.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, I think in real life, I mean, this is just a film, but I think in real life, even with half his face burnt off like that, I don't think he'd be alive. But, you know, it works for a film, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. That's an interesting thing about Two-Face. You know, he flips the coin and he makes the decision, you know. Yeah.
He's just killing everyone. Like he just doesn't know what to do. Like you say, the Joker set him on this path of rage. You know, he gave him the gun as well, so he knew that Harvey was going to go around killing everyone just because he was so upset.
Yeah. No, I love that. He flips the coin and then he lives, but then he flips the coin again. But, you know, his driver dies, so he shoots the driver, which, you know, I don't understand. Like, I mean, I think Eric Roberts' character dies, but what about Two-Face? I mean, did he survive the car crash, you know?
I guess he did.
Yeah, I just find it a bit weird, you know, how I could kill Eric Roberts' character, but Two-Face is somehow okay, but, yeah. This scene is really tense, where Batman has to decide, you know, whether he's going to let the ship full of convicts get, you know, destroyed, or he's going to let the ship full of civilians be destroyed. And, you know, like, I think someone in the ship says, "Oh, well, they're convicts, they've done bad things, they deserve to die." And, you know, I think Batman's conflicted because, you know, even though these people are convicts, he can't let these people die, you know.
Yeah, you can't let any of them die, but there's such a great dilemma, and that's the lengths the Joker will go to push Batman as far as he can. And then it just puts the whole story in it puts the character in such a tense position, you know, because what does he do in that situation?
Yeah. It just shows how clever he is as well. You know, he's not an idiot. You know, he is very clever.
And he's always been one step ahead, and that hasn't changed. He's still gonna mess with people's lives.
Yep. He just doesn't know when they quit, does he?
Nope. I think the kind of sonar technology that Batman has now got in his mask, I don't know if that's supposed to help him see in the dark better, I suppose, but yeah.
I blow you all up. If, however, one presses the button, I'll let that boat live.
Yeah, the sonar technology is interesting.
Funny how he's saying, you know, if one of you presses the button, I'll let that boat live. Like, but otherwise, I'm going to blow you up at midnight. What a horrible thing to do! I mean, that's just on a mental level. That's just going to make them all self-destruct in their minds. Like, they're not going to be able to control themselves, and I think that's what he wants. He just wants the anarchy of that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, those men had their chance.
Oh shit. No, but it is a moral dilemma because, you know, even though these people are convicts, you know, you're still going to be murdering them if you press the button. So you're no better. The thing is, you're no better than the convicts by, you know, blowing them up, killing them. You know, you're no better than them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god, this is really tense. Like when Harvey Dent makes say to Jim's family, "Come to this street, and then we'll get you out of there."
Yeah. I love the fact that the suit's damaged as well, because I think in the comics, like originally he had like an orange and purple suit. Like one half of it was orange, the other half was purple, and then the other comics, like one half was black, one half was white. But here it's like one half is an ordinary suit, the other half's like a damaged
Like
part of the
sin.
suit. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that is interesting. I mean, it is a more realistic look, and whereas the Joel Schumacher movie, the Batman Forever, it was more in line with the comics. He had like a purple face, and half of him was purple, half of him was like black. It was a weird look. It didn't really work for the film.
I mean, I think in Batman Forever, he sort of like half of his suit was orange, half of it was purple, which that was fine, but just the makeup didn't look very good on Tommy Lee Jones, like Two-Face. Like the makeup was shit, but yeah.
They're making them all vote, you know.
Are you gonna vote for me? Are you gonna vote for Joe Biden?
We have clear shots. Get this in there with them. We have to save Dent. Oh, we have to save Dent. Get ready.
But this film just completely raised the bar after Batman Begins.
Points the gun at him. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, it did. I mean,
Okay, we got DOV on Alpha.
It's
I'm the on
one of the rare cases where the sequel's better than the original.
It is. I think it's actually way better, you know. And,
yeah.
I mean, I really liked Batman Begins, but this movie just totally it's in a different league, I think. And even compared to The Dark Knight Rises really had a tough act to follow.
Yeah. No, I do agree with you. I do think it is way better than Batman Begins. You know, I think it's several steps above that film. I mean, I did like Batman Begins, but I didn't think it had a few problems like the pacing. But this, you know, it has a great villain, great story, fantastic pacing, great action scenes, great acting, you know, great cinematography. It was just, you know, Nolan just perfected it with this film. I think it's easily the best of the trilogy. I mean, Dark Knight Rises was good, but like you said, I had a tough act to follow after this film.
Yeah. I mean, I really like all three films, but this one could be just in its own league. It could stand on its own. But yeah, it's the middle chapter of the trilogy, and very rarely is that one the best of the three. But yeah.
And the thing is, as well, is that you don't really need to have seen the other Batman films. Like Batman Begins, it isn't really like essential that you see it. I mean, I recommend that you do.
It helps to see it, but yeah, you're not missing much if you haven't. It's just the origin story.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just watch this film on its own, and even if this film just existed on its own without the other two films, it'd still be a really great film. I mean, I enjoy the other two films, but yeah, like I said, Batman Begins, like, I recommend you do watch it before you watch Dark Knight, but you don't really need to see Batman Begins to understand this, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I just think from the point of view of some of the characters, it would help to watch it, like Rachel and Bruce, and just the general origins of how he becomes the character. But Yeah. This is such a great film.
Yeah. That sort of vision he has is kind of like VR, and I've played some VR, and yeah, it was quite interesting. I played John Wick VR.
Oh, wow.
Quite cool. Yeah.
I mean, that's like sonar vision. It's like, I think, I don't know if you can call it like, well, sonar radar imagery, like through his eyes. I don't know why he needs it, but it's pretty cool, I suppose.
I think he has it. I think he has it so he could see what enemies are in the building, so he could sort of predict where they are, and he can defeat them. But yeah.
Yeah. It's a great action scene.
Yeah. I can't believe it was 12 years ago.
It's actually aged rather well, this film.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of CGI in it, you know.
Yeah.
Most of it's fairly practical.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think great films, they don't date, which is good, you know.
Yeah, like films like Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, like some of the classics, they don't have CGI or they don't require it. Like this film doesn't require that much CGI, and I'm glad they don't cop out and use CGI.
Yeah.
I don't even think in The Dark Knight Rises they use that much CGI.
Yeah. The dogs.
Made it. I'm so thrilled.
Where's the detonator?
No animals were harmed in the making of this film.
You know what would have been nice if he had hyenas, because in the Batman animated series he has these hyenas with him, which is quite
God,
cool.
yeah. This would be the hyenas from The Lion King.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's quite a physical fight between him and Batman.
it is actually.
Shit, I know he's wearing armor, but he must feel that lead pipe or steel pipe hitting him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's times in Batman Begins where he wakes up and the next morning you see the bruises on his back, and he does maintain a fair amount of injuries in his time. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. They've got literally a minute to go. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll do it.
They're going to save themselves.
Those men on that boat, they made their choices. They chose to murder and steal. It doesn't make any sense for us to die too.
And the thing is, though, he can't do it. Even he can't bring himself to killing those people.
Uh-oh. Technology's fucking up.
I should have told you this, Joker. I don't wear hockey pads.
Whoa. This is actually the last scene in the film with the Joker in it, which is sad.
Yeah. They literally left the Joker on a cliffhanger because he's hanging from the thing.
from the building. That's my one nitpick about the Joker in this film, is that we don't really get any resolution with him. He's just left hanging on the building, and like presumably they just arrest him, or because he doesn't die. So yeah, it would have been nice to know what actually happens to him in the end, but it's a minor gripe, I guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he just gets arrested. But yeah, I like that scene where the prisoner just like gets the thing and throws it out the window.
Yeah. Go.
We go. I remember they used that clip of "Here We Go" for like a movie. I think they used that in the trailer of this, or they used it for like a movie montage of Warner Brothers, like, "Here we go," and yeah.
Yes, they have. He can't do it.
he's all talk, but he's no walk.
I mean, it is a hard thing to do, and if you're the one responsible for it, I mean, then yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I deep down, everyone's as ugly as you. But you're alone.
You
Of
know,
course
the Joker was counting on them to like press it, but you know nothing happened.
because he lied to them. Obviously, obviously, whichever one they pressed, they were going to blow. They were going to die. So.
But I know how you got me.
Imagine if we just let the Joker die.
He should. I mean, he could have done.
Yeah, because it's funny in the Tim Burton film, the Joker, he's gonna get in his helicopter, and then Batman, he shoots the rope around his like leg, and it gets stuck in the gargoyle, and you know the Joker falls to his death. So Batman kills the Joker and that. But yeah,
I guess, like you say, he has like a rule that he doesn't kill. Like he'll go out and do his vigilante stuff, but he won't kill unless he really has to.
yeah.
But yeah, so he just leaves him there for the police to deal with.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. Batman, that's sort of his moral code, is that he doesn't kill people. I mean, I remember in the Batman Beyond cartoon, like the first episode, like you got an aging Batman, and he has like a mild heart attack, and he uses a gun against a bad guy, and you know he didn't want to have to use the gun, and he decides because he nearly killed somebody with a gun that he's going to retire as Batman. He's no longer going to be Batman. But yeah,
You didn't think I'd risk losing the battle for Gotham's soul in a fistfight with you.
yeah, it's a great speech.
An ace in the hole.
And it's a great final scene for the Joker in this film, and sad that this is this isn't his last film he ever made. Actually, there's a film called The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which he featured in, although they had to rejig some of the script because he passed away, obviously. So the film was released in 2009, but he'd filmed a few scenes before he died. So yeah.
Did it get good reviews or?
I think he did. I've not seen the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's where we leave him.
Yeah. I assume the police just arrest him because they're all like sort of gathering up there, and I think he was just arrested. But I mean, yeah, even though Heath Ledger died, it would have been nice to find out what happened to the Joker in Dark Knight Rises. Like they could have explained in the Dark Knight Rises what happened to him, but yeah.
Yeah, it's my one criticism about the character is that there's not a lot of resolution. Like, yeah, the police come after him, but I assume, yeah, he's probably just arrested. But surely he would break out of prison again, or maybe they chuck him in Arkham Asylum. Who knows? But anyway, this final scene really is just so intense. I mean, beyond belief. You see Harvey Dent at his lowest low.
Yeah. So I can't believe he's doing this to Commissioner Gordon. I mean, like, what the hell did Gordon ever do to him? He's got his family there, and he's like pointing a gun at him, and I mean, I know he's changed into Two-Face, and he's become a different man now. But at the same time, you're thinking to yourself, wake up, Harvey. What's Gordon ever done to you? He's always tried to help you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not him. It's like, then he's just so wrapped up in his own grief that he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I think he's changed as a person. He's no longer Harvey Dent. He's now Two-Face. He's become this other personality. And yeah, this is really dark.
And he blames Gordon for not getting to Rachel in time because he knew the police were going after her. Because obviously Batman came after him. So I guess he's trying to, it's like a debt to him. It's like, a life for a life, because Rachel died. He's threatening to kill his son, which is awful.
Yeah, what a bastard. I mean, the fact that he would actually kill his son, fucking evil
And the
bastard.
little boy actually who plays the son really acts this scene well.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the thing. Nolan did a really good job with the casting of everybody in this film. And Aaron Eckhart and, Gary Oldman. I mean, everybody talks about Heath Ledger and he's brilliant, but, they should get a lot more mentions as well, because Aaron Eckhart and Gary Oldman are just great in this film.
You thought we could be decent men
Yeah.
in an indecent time.
Hey, maybe you should get some plastic surgery.
And I like the end of the film as well, how Batman very nobly, I think almost like in a way of repayment of a debt, chooses to take the fall for Harvey Dent and chooses to go and hide away for 8 years and not paint Harvey out as a bad person because of what happened.
Yeah.
Because obviously he took the fall for him earlier by saying he was Batman, so
Because you were the best of us.
yeah.
He wanted to
Yeah.
prove that even someone as good as you could fall. And he was right.
Yeah, but he's got a point.
Disappointed.
Batman's just saying him, the Joker just fucked with you, basically. I think you could tell Gordon in The Dark Knight Rises, he hates the fact that he has to pretend that Harvey was this good guy because he threatened his family and threatened his son.
Yeah, and we see the repercussions 8 years on after The Dark Knight, in The Dark Knight Rises, to how Gordon's life has changed. I mean, I think his wife actually left him, and his kids aren't with him anymore, which is a real shame. But him and Batman are the only ones that know really truly what had happened.
Yeah, it's funny because he's got his children, but his child, his daughter Barbara Gordon, in the comics she would grow up to become Batgirl, which is interesting. But yeah. Shit.
But he saves the boy though, so that's good.
Yeah. Yep. Oh fuck.
God. It's sad. I actually feel very sad for Harvey Dent that he died. I really feel sad for him, but I guess it was always going to end that way. So.
Yeah. I mean, Gordon, he has a son, and does he have a daughter as well, or?
Yeah, he has a little. I think he has a little girl as well, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's Barbara Gordon, because Barbara Gordon in the comics was Commissioner Gordon's daughter, and then she became Batgirl. But yeah, I'm surprised he survived that shot. I mean, it must have been the armor that saved him, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess his armor kind of protected him a bit.
Yeah, I think they explain in Dark Knight Rises, I think that's the reason why he's got that walking stick, because of that injury.
Yeah, yeah. And again, he was shot as well, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was shot and he fell, so I think that's why he's the injury in the Dark Knight Rises. That's the reason why he's got the walking stick. And I think that was another reason why he couldn't be Batman anymore either, because could you imagine Batman with a walking stick? It wouldn't work.
Oh yeah. And I think they just feel far better to leave Gotham in hope that Harvey Dent was the true hero as it was painted, rather than rewrite that. I think it's a very noble thing for Bruce to do, I suppose, and
Yeah.
it kind of maintaining Harvey's legacy despite what's happened it's quite a hard it's a hard thing to live with, but he chooses to do it.
Yeah. No, but it's interesting as well. I like that bit where he turns his face over because, like, he's like, oh, you either lived long enough. It's like you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. So he turns his face over, and then, of course, they're trying to portray that Harvey was this great guy, and he was this great guy until that, stuff with Rachel happened, and then they painted out the Batman, was a
Killed him.
bad guy, and yeah. And yeah, I mean, I think it's good because
We had Alfred
if
burn
they
the
had,
letter.
yeah, I think it's good as well that the fact that they say that Harvey, like they try to make it that Harvey was this great guy, because if they had said that Harvey had fallen from grace and become this bad guy, then that means the Joker would have won. That means the Joker would have won at the end of the day. But yeah.
Yes, I agree, and it's quite, in a way, I suppose it's kind of sad ending for Bruce. He's given up so much to do this, and now he's having to hide away to save his own life. And I just hope that the people are safe, and that one day maybe they'll forgive him. But yeah, they just needed to believe that Harvey was the good person he was.
Yeah. I mean, I think when I was younger, I didn't really understand why they did this, because I was just thinking to myself, he's Batman. Why would you want to make him out to be this, bad guy? But yeah,
It's so good. It's a great ending as well.
He's a silent guardian.
Yeah.
Watch for the protector. The Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, the music's great.
Oh, you know what? Round of applause. Bravo. That was absolutely incredible.
Yep.
Oh, I'm actually kind of speechless. I'm lost for words how good that really was. I mean, it gets better every time, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to go first? I'll let you say your piece about the film.
Yeah, well, I mean, what can be said about The Dark Knight that hasn't already been said? It's a great film. It's not just a great superhero film. It's just a great film in general. I think Nolan really upped his game with this one. I mean, I thought Batman Begins was good, but this was even better. I mean, he did a really good job with the story. I think Heath Ledger, of course, is incredible as the Joker, and he really, I like this idea that he's not in it for the money. He's just he's there so he can fuck around with people and fuck around with Batman, and he's just this chaos starter, and I think that's great. And Christian Bale's Batman is very good. It's probably his best performance. Maybe this or The Dark Knight Rises. And I think the other actors are great in this. Like Maggie Gyllenhaal's very good as Rachel. Her death scene is quite dramatic. Aaron Eckhart is really great as Two-Face, and I like his sort of character arc. How he starts off as a sort of white knight of Gotham. He's there to sort of clean up the city and make it a better place and stop crime. And then the Joker corrupts him, and he gets half his face burnt off, and then he becomes this villain. And there's some great stuff in here about about crime and about the character of the Joker and Batman and their relationship. And I think Gary Oldman's really great as well as Commissioner Gordon, and there's some great action scenes there as well. I like the bit where the Joker's like hit me, and so many classic scenes like the interrogation scene, and the opening bank heist is great, and the reveal of the Joker. And
sorry, I just saw that on the screen. Sorry.
I don't. What was it on the screen?
It just said in memoriam of Heath Ledger and someone else. So they managed to find time to put his name in the credits. So thank you for honouring Heath Ledger in the credits. That's awesome.
Yeah. I also think Michael Caine's really good in the film as Alfred, and that scene where he says, some people just want to see the world burn, and it's a great story, and it romps along at 2.5 hours. I mean, it's very, very well paced. It's a great crime film as well as being a great superhero film, and yeah, I mean, I think it's really, really good, and the soundtrack's great, and the way they've made Chicago look like its own city, like made it look like Gotham is great, and some of the moral choices they have to go through, and yeah, like I said, the cast is just excellent, and it's a great film, and I think it's probably easily the best of this trilogy, and probably the best Batman film. I mean, I think I probably slightly prefer Batman Returns because of nostalgia, but I still love this one as well. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this might be the best. It probably is the best Batman film, but yeah, I mean, it's such a great film. It's Christopher Nolan really upped the game with this one, and yeah, I mean, after this, Dark Knight Rises, it's a tough act to follow this one because this just set a new standard for superhero films, and it's definitely one of the best superhero films ever made, and it's a great film, and great filmmaking in it, and great performances all around. From Michael Caine, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Aaron Eckhart, Gary Oldman,
Or
Heath
than
Ledger, yeah, Morgan Freeman, and Christian Bale. So yeah, I mean, I probably close it off by giving it a 10 out of 10. It definitely deserves it.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I couldn't agree more. This film is just a masterpiece. I mean, I really wish I'd seen it when I was younger. But then again, I mean, when I first saw it, I never appreciated it. I think I was too young to kind of understand it, really. And I'm glad that I've now been won over by it. And it is the best of the trilogy, without question. I mean, first of all, Heath Ledger, rest in peace. Outstanding as the Joker. For me, the best on-screen Joker of them all. And he just nailed the part.
I agree with that.
Yeah. No, he just nailed this part. There's so many great scenes, like the scene when he's interrogating people with the knife, saying, I know how I got these scars. And the first scene when he's introduced, his first proper scene in the kitchen when he's like, let's not blow this out of proportion. And the opening scene I love as well when they're robbing the bank. Everything he puts the characters through is just incredible, and it adds so much tension. And the interrogation scene with Batman is very good. His last scene in the construction site is really good. Every scene he's in, he just nails it. He really does. And the hospital scene I love as well, when he's confronting Harvey Dent and then he gives him the gun and he's like, I'm an agent of chaos. And Ledger's accent and just his general mannerisms and everything. I mean, especially in that party scene as well, when he's interrogating Rachel, that's really harrowing. And there's so much tension in the film. It is darker than Batman Begins, and it is a much more dramatic movie than Batman Begins for me. And it does what a sequel should do. The death of Rachel is obviously very sad as well, and I think Maggie Gyllenhaal is a better Rachel. Katie Holmes was fine. I mean, she was okay in Batman Begins, but Maggie Gyllenhaal can carry the part a bit better. She's got more personality, I think, and there's more chemistry with her and Bale, and I like her relationship with Harvey Dent as well. And Aaron Eckhart is another scene stealer. I mean, wow, he's excellent in the film, and his character arc is really tragic and really sad. And it's a very interesting take on Two-Face, actually, because we've never normally seen that side of him before in the comics and in the earlier films with Val Kilmer. I mean, that was disgraceful. But no, I really liked Two-Face's, and I like the look of Two-Face as well. The makeup is terrific. Well, sorry, the makeup, the visual effects are really, really impressive and really quite harrowing. Quite surprising to see how realistic it looks. And the last scene with him and Jim Gordon and his family is very intense. There's just so much tension in the film. Nolan's direction is superb. I love the performances as well from Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman, I think, is better in the film. He has a lot more to do. I don't quite understand what happens to him after he gets shot, though. That's the only thing. Like, does he go into a coma, or does he just, like, presumably he does, or he just sort of because he just kind of disappears from the film and then comes back later on. Yeah, that was a little unclear.
I think, I may be wrong, but I think he just faked his death so the Joker thought that Commissioner Gordon was dead, because I think if he just if he just announced that he was still alive, then the Joker might have tried again to get to him, get to his family or kill him somehow. But yeah, I mean that's what I think anyway. I may be wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean there is that possibility. I mean, thank you. I mean, that is a plausible theory. I like Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine, even though they probably don't have as much to do as some people, but they're still very good in the film. The action scenes are brilliant. There isn't one that sticks out, and I'm glad there's a bit more action in this film than Batman Begins. Although I do still really like Batman Begins. It's a fantastic film. It's a great piece of drama. It's character driven. It's tension built. It's action packed. It's everything you could want in a movie, and it's not a kids movie. Don't show it to your kids. It can be quite horrific and quite disturbing. I mean, it is called The Dark Knight, so yeah. I mean, then blowing up the hospital, that was a pretty great scene as well. The only thing I will say, I mean, the Joker, as far as the end of the film goes, I kind of wish there was more resolution with him. As I've said, I kind of wish that we kind of got to see or get mentioned what actually happened to him. Even in The Dark Knight Rises, they don't really mention it. I'm assuming he just gets arrested, but they don't really show afterwards. I mean, I would have liked them to have chucked him in Arkham Asylum, maybe, but it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. But it just would have been nice. And the music by Hans Zimmer, I think, is also very good. I think it's phenomenal. And I think The Dark Knight is really a masterpiece. It's the best of the trilogy by far, and I think it's one of the best superhero films ever made. It is so good. It's very long, but it doesn't feel long. It's 2.5 hours, and it really is paced so well. I mean, Nolan just struck gold with this movie. He really did. And I am going to agree with you, Jack. I'm going to give this film an easy 10 out of 10. So that's it for The Dark Knight. So yeah, that's it for the first two films. So we now move on to the third and final film of Christopher Nolan's trilogy, which is The Dark Knight Rises, released in 2012. So 4 years after this. I mean, so yeah, no wonder they wanted to make it good.
Yeah, and his cock isn't rising for Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. That's for sure.
Yeah. God, yeah, I don't know if there's such thing as Bat Viagra. But
I'm
yeah,
not taking ecstasy.
Oh God. So yeah, stay tuned next time when we review. Well, not review. Sorry, when we commentate on The Dark Knight Rises, which is the third and final film. So that should be fun. It's been fun doing this one, and I'm glad we got to finish this one because obviously the previous attempt we had some issues. But never mind, it happens. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun.
Thank God there was. Sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, thank God there was no Wi-Fi issues this time or any issues with dogs either. But
yeah, thank God. And just to clarify, with the dogs in the movie, no animals were harmed in the making of this film.
Yeah. And just to clarify as well, no animals were harmed during the making of the last audio commentary for Batman Begins. But
yeah, that's true. Despite my temptations, but yeah, so that's it for The Dark Knight. Please let us know what you thought of this movie down below. Leave your comments down below. Let us know. And I hope you enjoyed the commentary. And stay tuned next time for The Dark Knight Rises, which will complete this Dark Knight trilogy commentary. And yeah, thanks very much, Jack, for joining me. And thank you, Sam Harrison, for the live chat. Even though there was only 2 messages, but still, thank you anyway. And we will see you for The Dark Knight Rises. So, Jack, is there anything you want to say before we finish, or are you done?
Yeah, no, like you said, next time we're going to review The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, I know it was a slip of the tongue, but actually we did review this a while back. I appeared in your review of that, which was quite fun, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was fun, yeah. Well, yeah, it'd be more of a commentary, but yeah, I mean, I guess we do kind of review it as we go along, but that'll be a long one.
Yep. Nearly 3 hours, but yep.
Worth it.
Like, does the Dark Knight rise, or does it sit in its source and watch the film?
Well, that's what we're going to find out next time. So, yeah, thank you all very much, and until next time, cheerio. Ending broad.